Kal Kadosh, Boker Or, Bekiim Halacha 4, day 38, page 98, Siman Kafhei, Halacha Ein Zayin. En lachlotz tefillin bifnei Sefer Torah. You're not supposed to take off your tefillin before in front of the Sefer Torah. Lefi shehu zilzul, page 98. Yeah, because it's a zilzul for the Sefer Torah. שמגלה ראשו כנגדה. אלא מי שרוצה לחלוץ תפילין בעוד ספר תורה, right, בטבעה, יסלק עצמו לצדדים ויחלצן. You have to move away. Go somewhere else and take off the tefillin. Don't come and take off the tefillin right in front of the Sefer Torah. It's a bizayon. What are you doing? Taking off your tefillin in front of Rosh Meguler לפני Sefer Torah? Yeah? So he says, ותפילין של יד מותר לחלוץ לפני הספר תורה. But you are allowed to take off the tefillin של יד. כיוון שאין בהם גילוי, because there's no גילוי there. לכן מותר לחלוץ את תפילין של ראש עם חיצה כשהוא תחת הטלית הגדול. Or you could take it off, you have the טלית גדול on top. לכן בזמננו שלובשים כיפות, or nowadays you have a כיפה. Right? That's if you don't take off your kippah when you take off the tefillin. מותר לחלוץ תפילין של ראש לפני הספר תורה, באופן שלא יסייע ככיפה, but don't take off the kippah when you're taking it off, אלא יאחוז הכיפה שלא תסור מעל ראשו. But you have to make sure that the kippah stays on your head. Meaning, if you're taking off the tefillin, and then by taking off the tefillin, you're going to be without a head covering, so it's a busha v'chapa. What are you doing? You're disgracing the Torah. But if you come and you take it off, and you keep the kippah always in your head, so therefore there's no problem. Yeah, but you keep the kippah on your head. You have to make sure you have the kippah. Right? Exactly. Lo b'peh. Yeah, but also, right? Okay, fine. Says the 97, right? And 98. אני רואה שכל אחד פה 97. Yeah. Tamate Moshe quoted, right? Cites the Gemara that it's forbidden for somebody to take off his tefillin in front of his rabbi. That's another halacha. אסור לך להוריד את התפילין לפני הרב שלך. So he says, he raised his hand against the king, which is the Gemara. The Gemara interprets that he took off his tefillin in front of Shlomo Melech. Rashi explained this is considered a rebellious act, since it should have been considered that it's not the king's honor. Furthermore, he uncovered his head, which in itself is a disrespect. Okay? Based on this, the Shimush Rabbah, meaning that in the olden days, the exact opposite of nowadays. Nowadays, it's kilu a kavod that you remove your head covering. So if a person has a hat, he takes off the hat, you understand? But it's the exact opposite. The kavod is that you do not reveal your head. You understand? So he says the Shimush rule that it's disrespectful for a student to bare his head in front of his rabbi, his Torah mentor. In the same way, Rabbi Shlomo Lulia, he came and he said that his disciples cannot take off the tefillin in front of a Torah school. He instructed them that they have to take it off in the side room. Apparently, the discussion is about someone who has an urgent need to take it off. Let's say you have to go to the washroom, like what he mentioned before, right? Not phone calls, yeah? Washroom, yeah? So he says, otherwise it's going to be forbidden. What about putting the tefillin on in front of a Torah scroll? This is talking about leorid the tefillin. So based on the reason I explained above, it should also be forbidden to put on the tefillin. Right? Why? He says, but if you're going to have your head revealed. So he says that Tila Levila ruled, although that it's forbidden to take it off. But he says, but to put it on, you're allowed to. Right? And he says it's not considered disrespectful, because obviously you're putting on something which brings you shekhinah. So he says, therefore, it's permissible to put it on. Right? Malim bekodesh. That's also likewise the ruling of the Ruot Ephraim, the Divrei Shalom Kras, the Aruch HaShulchan. The rationale is that your act of putting it on is allegiance to Torah mitzvot. It's not taking it off, so therefore you're allowed to. What about taking off the tefillin shel yad? So the 98, the Pri Megadim comes and he says it's permissible to take off the tefillin shel yad because this does not involve uncovering one's head. You're not uncovering your head, so you're allowed to take off tefillin shel yad. However, right, he ruled that it's respectful to expose one's arm as well. So according to this, it's permissible only if you keep the sleeve down. You know how many times you keep it on and you're removing it, but from within the sleeve. That's what I do. I take off the tefillin. I don't take off, right, and I reveal my arm, right? You take it off when the sleeve is still covering the arm. Okay, this halacha applies in a case where a person has already taken off the tefillin shel rosh, right? Which again there was no problem, or by going to the side room and now taking off the tefillin shel yad. Halacha number 99. Regarding the halacha for being a student taking off the tefillin in front of his rabbi, Rashi explained this because it's disrespectful to bare your head in front of the rabbi. The Rav Chida commented this prohibition is applied only in Talmudic area based upon their style of clothing, right? So he says, but nowadays you could easily take off the shalrosh without baring one's head. So based on this, the Mishabura, the Kavachayim ruled that you're allowed to take it off in front of your rabbi as long as you don't bare your head. Meaning as long as you don't take off your kippah, you're allowed to take it off even in front of your rabbi. You heard? And even in front of your rabbi, you're allowed to take it off as long as you don't take off your kippah. You always have to have your kippah on. Okay? Number 100. Right? Number 100 says that you're not allowed to do v'chol yisur chalitza b'fnei sefer Torah וכשספר תורה אינו מונח בתוך תיק סגור. אבל אם מונח בתוך תיק סגור, למה וכן הדבר. Meaning, that's what we're talking about, that the sefer Torah is open. But what happens if the Torah is closed and it's within the mapah? or it's got a tick, right? Like the Edot Mizrach, that's closed. So basically, it's closed. There's nothing. So then you're allowed to, and that's a minhag. It says over here, the Od Yosef Chai brings down if the Torah scroll is inserted in a closed case, it's permissible. This is a common custom. לא, זה מה שאומר. כל זמן שאתה לא מגלה את הראש, זה מותר. או אתה הולך לחדר צדדי.
כאילו, הכיפה תמיד בראש.
בדיוק. אז כל זמן שהכיפה בראש, זה בסדר. Or אתה הולך למקום צדדי.
כן.
You know, somewhere else. So the Od Yosef Chai comes and he says, as long as the Sefer Torah is סגור, זה בסדר. Right? Also brought down the Shevet HaKehati. Right? Also is going to be the same halacha. Okay. Next.